Meet sailing yacht Avanti and her crew, Gerard and Jacqueline. We left Cape Town in December 2021 on our floating home, heading west on an adventure of a lifetime around the world.
Goodbye, Tonga!
Tonga is crying while we're leaving. First rain in maybe 4 days. It's ironic.
On a rainy afternoon, it was finally time to leave Tonga, and we weren't too sad about it. It would be a 420 nautical mile journey, and although we would start by beating into the wind, the prediction forecasted a wind shift, and we should have a really nice sail to Savu Savu.
We were leaving with a buddy boat who had broken their rigging on their way to Tonga, and they asked us to try and stay close to them in case they needed help on the crossing. Even though there was a welder on the island, they were in no rush to help, so they made a temporary fix that should hold up to Fiji.
It has gotten increasingly more difficult to fill and unfill our genoa, meaning to open and close our large front sail. This is something we'll have to inspect once we're in Fiji.
We've just left Tonga's harbour, and the prediction was to have 12 to 13 knots on a close reach, which will later turn to more beam reach tonight. But at the moment we have rain, which was not predicted, and we have 17-18 knots on a close reach. So hopefully it turns soon. It's not a very comfortable sail and we're a little bit wet. We've got 2 reefs in the main and the genoa is filled in quite a bit. We're trying to kind of stick with Timmy, the other sailboat, just to make sure they're okay. So yeah, on our way to Fiji we go. It's the first morning after we left Tonga, and the prediction was pretty good, accurate. The wind died a little bit around midnight, but it picked up a little bit sooner than the prediction said. So we've been having wind on the beam about maybe 13 knots, sometimes it goes up to 16, 17. So then we just reefed the genoa. We still have 2 reefs in the main. Our friends on sailing vessel Timmy with the rigging issue is still behind us. We've managed to stay close together. They like 2 miles behind us, and most of the time they were just 1 mile behind us, so not really an effort to stay close to them. We also have 2 or 3 boats around us that's part of the island cruise rally. They come up from New Zealand all the way to Tonga and then back to New Zealand via Fiji. So there's also lots of them that left Tonga yesterday and today, and we can see them on the AIS, so it's nice to have a few boats around you. The skies are a bit grey, so not much sunshine today, hopefully no rain, but we're doing an average of about 6.5 knots at the moment, and we have about 300 nautical miles left of the 420 we have to cover.
On this passage, we needed to eat everything that was fresh on board, because Fiji is very strict about what food is allowed to be brought in.
We are about 14 nautical miles outside of Savu Savu, and it's been much less than 3 days. I think we'll be there in about, we've lost a bit of wind, so we're going very slowly at the moment, just below 5 knots average. So I think we'll be there in about 3 hours. So it's been a very good passage. The wind has really been nice. This last bit's been dead downwind sailing in very flat seas. The outside reef in these islands around Fiji really protects you from the swell that's out in the open ocean. So really nice going, although it's relatively slow and low winds. So we would have done about 6 knots average, and we would have done the passage in about 2 3/4 days. So not bad at all. We expect it to be at least 3 days. Our battery situation has deteriorated further. So with the downwind sailing, the apparent wind from behind is very low, so the wind generator doesn't help much during night. So the batteries are now so bad that I have to basically run the engine every 3 hours, and I can only run it for half an hour. It kind of doesn't accept full charge anymore. Once you start the engine, it goes up to 14.2 volts quite quickly, and you can see the charging amps drop as well. So not a lot going into the batteries, so they last even shorter. So we're really looking forward to sorting this problem out. During the day it's fine because the solar panels kind of top it up, but we are only down to 25 watts consumption in total. So it shows you how bad they are. We used to consume about 100 watts during nighttime with all the instruments on and the freezer. Now only 25 watts, and yeah, after 3 hours the batteries are down to 11.2 volts. We've been sailing wing on wing for probably the last day, since the wind direction changed from a beam reach to a broad reach and then did downwind. And the sea is really calm, so you can keep the sails stable in really light winds. Sunrise on the 3rd morning of our passage from Tonga to Fiji, and we'll be there in about 3 hours time. One thing I'm very grateful for this trip, with our batteries being almost non-existent, is our wind pilot wind vane called Gandalf. We didn't use our electric autopilot once on this trip, not a single time. It just consumes too much electricity. So we could have used it during the day if we wanted to when the sun was out, but we also had a few gloomy days with lots of clouds. So Gandalf has been steering us without any electrical power for the last 2.5 days. So really happy that we have this guy. If we didn't, we would have probably had to hand steer at night, because the batteries would just be drained so quickly with the autopilot running.
A warm dolphin welcome going into a new harbour is always welcome.
Upon arrival in Savu Savu, you simply grab a mooring ball and let the marina know that you have arrived on the VHF. In Fiji, all the officials come to you and check you in on your vessel, so no running around. Well, so we thought, until we found out that you still need to pay the fees at their various offices on land.
A surprise sound startled us, and we rushed on deck to find a plane coming through the mooring field to bring its owner to his massive super yacht. I mean, why would you take a 5-minute dinghy ride when your plane can drop you off on your bathing platform?
With our battery situation becoming very dire, I've actually disconnected one more battery, and we're just on one now that seems to be taking us through the night, still without the freezer. So we got some quotes here in Fiji, and we negotiated a discount, and we've decided to buy 4 new Victron batteries here. They are luckily the same size, so they will fit in our compartment, and yeah, the prices are relatively reasonable. They do have stock on the main island, so they have to ship them here, which takes about 3 days. So we've got some time now in Savu Savu while we wait for them before we get them and install them.
Fiji has mostly volcanic or limestone islands, and in Savu Savu the ground is literally boiling beneath your feet, with the hot springs that come out from deep below the surface.
Yeah, so there's 2 springs here. The one is discharging at 1 liters a second at 99 degrees Celsius, so basically boiling. And it's quite a high, you can smell the sulfur. We brought some eggs to boil in the hot spring pool.
The largest Fijian island has larger pools that one can actually swim in, but this site only has these small boiling pots. The rags you see in the boiling water are used by locals to wrap around their cooking pots, and they use this water to cook their dal, rice and meat.
Done. We're just waiting for our eggs to cool down. They are super hot, and we got some salt and pepper as well. Then we'll see how they taste from the hot springs.
Cheers! Perfect egg! Trying to make the most of the last bit of sunshine predicted for the next coming days, we head off to find a waterfall. After the local bus and a short walk down a very steep hill, we made it to the waterfall. Now it's only a 5 to 6 minute walk, and then we'll hopefully be able to swim in some cold water. Another banana.
Today I'm tasting my first Fijian beer, so I'm quite excited, and they've got these little stubby bottles that we're not used to. So this is called a Fiji Bitter. It's a lager. It's one of the more popular local beers. It's a 375ml bottle. You also get them in cans. They cost $2.95 to $3 Fijian in the liquor store. And this lager has got 4.6% alcohol. So after Tonga, where we didn't have any local beer, it's really nice to see local beer in the shops again. So you can see it's a pretty clear filtered lager. So let's see how this one tastes. It really lives up to the name. It's quite bitter, so it's more like a, I would say almost like a Pilsner. And I really like Pilsners, so it's nice and crisp, refreshing, and yeah, very good lager. So I think in terms of a rating for the cost, the size, and the taste, this lager would get a 7 out of 10 for me.
Thank you for joining us this week. Remember to leave us a like, give us a comment, and subscribe to our channel. Next week our new batteries finally arrive, but will they fit? Join us on Friday to find out. Thank you to our Patreons. If you'd like to join them and make a contribution to these videos, you can join them by clicking on the link in the description below.